So the Caitlin Clark media, I don't even know what to call it, to be honest. I don't even know what to call it. Like, is it the Caitlin Clark media takedown? And the Caitlin Clark media teardown, humbling, whatever the hell it is right now. I think it's one of those things now where we're looking at it and it's like, okay, this is not ideal. This is not ideal at all, because you have now got a situation where it's becoming Luka Doncic. It's becoming Luka Doncic, and I don't think people understand fully when it comes to Luka Doncic, like what, how bad some of these things are. Like the Luka narratives, like we all know when it comes down to it, the Luka narratives are just not good. Not good at all. And when things come down to that and it becomes, okay, Luka Doncic, the way people look at Luka Doncic is now the way everyone's looked at. It's like, okay, this isn't great. And I saw a podcast by a news outlet. And in general, look, this is a podcast. I mean this. Like, I listen to, like, I don't think people fully understand this. Like, I watch every game. I watch every game. And if I can't catch a game, I watch it the next morning. I listen to nearly all the things, because I'm going to be honest. Like, I've always said this, that like I don't take it for granted that watching that, like being able to make content in this league is my job. So I need to make sure that I'm on top of everything. I'm on top of absolutely everything. And I was very disappointed to see a podcast with, again, quite a few credentialed journalists on a major network. And one of the big things that they were saying was they start off by heavily implying, I'm not saying they said it directly, but we can be real. Heavily implying is kind of the same thing, where it was heavily implied that Caitlin Clark is a cancer to the Fever. That it's her, everything wrong with the Fever is her fault. And she's going to be Kennedy Cartered out of the league. That her teammates need to have an intervention with her. That it's Lexi Hull's responsibility, basically, to have an intervention with her. And it's like, it's one thing being treated like a negative asset in your team. It's another thing being treated like a cancer. And if we're being real here, I don't think there's, unless you're on the extreme of being a dumbass, which there are plenty of people on the line of being a complete dumbass. Let's be real. But it's one of those things now for me where I'm like, we're in a situation where this is how they talked about Luka. Like, this is worse than how they talked about Luka. And there's no way in hell, again, there's no one defending her. They're sending out her teammates to defend her. And the worst part is that at the end of the 20-minute rant about Caitlin Clark, I heard, the same journalist who is seen as the freaking best journalist in the WNBA, or one of the most, and I'm not taking that away because I'm pissed off at what she said today. Like, your career is not defined on one social media rant, especially one that you fucking clawed for. So I'm not doing that, which is why I'm not mentioning the podcast. I'm not mentioning, you can put two and two together, but I'm not mentioning names here. At the end of it all, at the end of a rant, basically implying that Caitlin Clark's a cancer, that nothing's going to change until she's benched. And I'm like even with Christine Breanna being like, it's not new news that Caitlin Clark is a hothead. Like, we all know that. We all know that. It's like, you take the good with the bad from Caitlin Clark. And yeah, it's disappointing to read it, but at the end of it, it's one of those things where when it was all said and done, they said, okay, we've tried to talk about Caitlin, or we tried to talk about this with the team, and the team, people close to the team, ensure that like this was nothing, that like the team didn't speak about it, the team didn't really, like, it was a nothing burger, but everything obviously got blown up. So from everything we've heard in the team, from heard from everyone around the team, this was nothing. This was a nothing situation. And to be honest, I don't believe it's nothing. But I've said this plenty of times where I'm like, it's now with people like something, nothing, or everything, it's somewhere between something and nothing. Because let's be real, if you have as a coach, anyone who's coached, even if you have a player that's a hothead, and you know that you have a player that sometimes, to their fault, is going to be passionate, you don't single them out, you don't start screaming at them in a bad situation. Like everyone who's ever coached knows that. Like, you know that sometimes something isn't your fault, or sometimes, like, you know what, you have to, people are like, oh, you can't be treating players differently. Yes, you do. Anyone who's ever coached a sport knows you treat players differently. Like, it's your job to get the best out of every single player. And it's clear going mad at Caitlin Clark is not getting the best out of her. It's not getting the best out of her. So, like, you can fault Stephanie White for that in that interaction. Also, Caitlin Clark's clearly in the wrong for clapping back at her coach. Like, we all know that. This is, even in a non-isolated incident, like, we can, like, there's fault on all sides here. The thing is, like, from everything you've heard, you know, Caitlin wants to be coached hard, this and that, like, everything. But then all of a sudden now we're at the stage where it's like, okay, yeah, because Caitlin and Stephanie White get into it on the sideline, therefore Caitlin's a cancer and the teammates hate her. And like, this is the bullshit narratives that, like, Cheryl Swoops was pushing years ago. Remember when Cheryl Swoops was just making up that there were locker room issues in Indiana? This is like Cheryl Swoops type stuff. Like, they're literally just making up narratives. And that's one of the things that I'm just like, you're looking at it and it's just not a good scenario all around, because, like, yeah, I get it. Caitlin doesn't look the greatest. But when you go from the extreme of there was a bad situation that happened to this team has locker room issues, they all hate Caitlin, implying she needs an intervention, implying that it's her teammate's fault. And, like, just a heads up, going out there and publicly saying that it's the responsibility of her teammates to keep another grown adult in check is fucking belittling them as well. It's belittling them as well. Like, I mean this, like, if Caitlin is really a cancer, it's not on fucking Lexi Hull. It's not on Lexi Hull. Like, it's not, could you imagine in real life if, I don't know, one of your friends was, and, like, they're not even actually doing anything to really disrupt it. You have a friend that, when you play pool, or when you're playing, let's say again, yeah, you have a friend that you, on nights out, you like to go to the bar and play darts. And you have a friend that gets really angry with himself when he's not playing well. Could you imagine if, not even your friend, if another group of people started announcing to everyone that you as friends should have an intervention with that person because they get a little bit angry? No, like, Caitlin absolutely needs to get better at this. But the only, it's not a fucking intervention. This is one of these things that helps with age. Like, and people were comparing it to tennis. It was like, oh, these tennis players losing their mind. There's no comparison. Like, there's actually no comparison. If you see a tennis player losing their mind, oh dear Lord, it's bad. And I'm sorry, like, I was the tennis player. Like, I played tennis at a decent level. At a level where I stopped playing at 16, but a lot of the guys that were in and around my level at 16 went off to the States to play either D1 or D2 college. Like, I was good. I was fucking nuts. Like, I never smashed a racket because I couldn't afford it. I would wear a hat just so I could launch the hat. When I went back playing tennis at 25, it was done. Like, I wasn't doing that anymore. This is something that improves with age, with maturity. And yes, it's something that Caitlin needs to improve on. Like, we can point out that, yes, there is a line that at times Caitlin plays on the edge. And this season, quite a few times, she has gone over the edge. We can point that out without saying her teammates need to have a fucking intervention for her. Or that implying that she's going to be Kennedy Cartered out of the league. Kennedy Carter fought teammates. Like, yes, current day Kennedy Carter is not old Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter literally fought teammates. Like, she would fight, like, her and Courtney Williams got into a fight with each other. Did they? No, I'm wrong. But like young Kennedy Carter was a locker room cancer. We cannot stress that enough. Young Kennedy Carter was a locker room cancer. And again, like there's one of those things where it's like, and it wasn't just her. The Atlanta Dream situation with Kennedy Carter almost got Courtney Williams kicked out, like blackballed from the league too. It's one of those things where, like, there are two completely different extremes. Like, and yes, could what Caitlin Clark's doing be a problem for the Indiana Fever? Yeah. But I don't think it's any more of a problem than Aaliyah Boston forgetting how to play defense, than Lexi Hull forgetting how to play defense without fouling. And by the way, this is not a exclusive Lexi Hull thing. The entire Phoenix Mercury team forgot how to play defense without fouling. Alyssa Thomas can't play defense anymore. Like, the Mercury can't play defense without fouling. A lot of quote unquote good defenders can't guard anymore. They can't guard anymore because of that. Lexi Hull's just the most visible example of a player who actually can't play defense without fouling. Caitlin Clark, she has a fouling problem. Kelsey Mitchell's the worst defender in the league. That's an exaggeration, but she's terrible. Mo Billings can't really play basketball. MHA, for what she is fine. Good value contract. KK Timpson sometimes forgets she's on the basketball court. Demir Stantis is the worst player in the league. Raven Johnson has the worst fouling problem of everybody, and it's 4v5 in offense when she's on the floor. The Indiana Fever have a lot of problems. You could argue, you can make the point that Caitlin Clark's attitude is the biggest of them. I wouldn't. It's definitely one of them. But this is a team in a complete shit show situation. They've had one good win on the season, and people are like, oh, they beat Portland without Caitlin Clark. Yeah, they beat a Portland Fire team that was playing Haley Jones 20 minutes a game and starting Shug Sutton. Like, the Fire versus the Fever game where the Fever won is a different Fire team. It was a completely different Fire team. First of all, it's in Indiana. The Portland Fire are a team that very much are a home court team. Portland, in that game, only played Carla Late 14 minutes because she was injured. Haley Jones played more minutes than Carla Late. Shug Sutton was their second top scorer. Like, we got to be real here. All Black wasn't even on a team at that stage. Like, it was a different team in a different arena. And Portland Fire are a team that blows hot and cold, and they're a good home team. They're a bad away team. I don't think the Portland Fire, have they won? I think they beat Connecticut. They've only beat the Connecticut Sun away from home. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, we're looking at it and the, like, everything around Caitlin Clark. It is, I'm not saying it's a coordinated hit pieces where the media is coordinating to go out of their way to go at Caitlin Clark. But what I am saying is that it is now considered fair game to go for Caitlin Clark, and the media are using that to their advantage.